Hi, this presentation focuses on climate change and the responses to this issue. Throughout this presentation, I will define climate change, the causes and impacts of it. Later, I will mention the actions to reduce these effects of climate change and how calculating carbon footprints enable a person to know how they affect the environment. So, what is climate change? In simple terms, climate change is a change in the Earth's climate. There could be a change in where rain or snow usually falls on Earth, or a change in the amount of rain and snow a place gets. Weather is different as it changes in a few hours. Climate, whereas, takes hundreds or millions of years to change. Earth's climate is changing as there have been times to when Earth's climate has been warmer to the present climate. There have also been times where Earth's climate has been much cooler. These time periods can last up to thousands or millions of years. Currently, the Earth's climate is getting warmer. These warmer temperatures have caused snow and ice to melt. The warming of the oceans have also led to a rise in sea level. Not only this, but it has also led to a changed timing of when certain plants grow. So, what are the causes of climate change? There are plenty of factors that can cause climate change. The Earth's distance from the Sun can change, and due to this, the Sun can give more or less energy. Oceans can also change in size. Volcanic eruptions, depending on the category and type of the volcano, can also have an impact on the climate. A sudden release of gases in the atmosphere can affect the climate. However, humans are the biggest cause of climate change. These are the causes humans have on climate change. People drive cars, motorbikes, and various transport vehicles to get to a certain place. This releases gases such as particulate matter, for example, soot, nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and various other greenhouse gases. These emissions or pollutants, when released in the atmosphere, create a trap for the sun's energy. Without this, heat would escape into space, and Earth's average temperature would be 60 degrees Fahrenheit colder. Heating and cooling homes can also contribute to climate change due to the use of coal or other fuels used to heat a home. Even cooking food, these all take up energy which is sourced from burning oil, gas, and coal. The impacts of climate change. There are multiple impacts of climate change. Due to climate change, some regions may experience more heat than usual, while others may cool slightly. Climate change can also lead to flooding, droughts, intense summer heat, and other extreme weather events, for example, storms. They can have impacts on water resources around the world. For example, Canada. Canada's forests are expected to be the most vulnerable in the world to climate change. These forests support countless species and ecosystems and are also an example of at risk habitat. The melt of ice sheets and alpine glaciers have a major effect on the Arctic ecosystems. Pollution also has an impact on climate change. Air pollutants have complex relationships with climate change. Pollutants such as black carbon and ozone increase the heat by blocking heat in the atmosphere. Other pollutants, such as sulfur dioxide, form light reflecting particles and have a cooling effect on the climate. In addition to this impact on climate change, the particulate matter is a major contributor to local air pollution, although concentrations vary according to the source of combustion. Exposure to particulate matter can have significant impact on ill health. This applies particularly to poorer countries, where, for example, high reliance on solid fuel such as wood for indoor cooking is estimated to be responsible for 1.8 million deaths from indoor smoke pollution, including black carbon. Polluting industries and the running of older vehicles also contribute to high black carbon pollution in urban air in developing countries. The case study for air pollution would be air pollution in Delhi. Delhi is India's capital territory and has a population of 18.98 million. On average, the total suspended particulate levels in Delhi was 5 times the World Health Organization's annual average standard. 3,000 metric tons of air pollutants were emitted every day. According to the World Air Quality Report, India is the fifth most polluted country in the world. 67% of Delhi's population is due to vehicles. Delhi government has introduced this new electric vehicle policy. The government is providing alternatives and incentives on their purchases to promote large-scale adoption of electric vehicles. 12% of this pollution comes from coal-based thermal power plants. Delhi government has also started a plan on shutting down 2 thermal plants in the city. Pollution can also have a major impact on health and can lead to respiratory problems, asthma, chronic obstructive airway disease, and cancer. Earth by the 22nd century will be severely impacted due to climate change and global warming. There have been many signs that show that our planet is changing. Evidences such as ocean temperatures broke records, the Arctic melting reached peaks, and extreme weather swept through Europe, the Arctic, and the United States. Global warming and climate change have been linked to species extinction, increased number of annual heat waves, and many more frequent natural disasters like wildfires, hurricanes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions. This diagram shows the data from 1960 to the 22nd century. Statistics show that global warming power has increased throughout the years and will continue to increase till 22nd century and further. Carbon dioxide emissions may also increase till the 22nd century and further. Carbon dioxide atmospheric concentration went from 400 parts per million in 2010 to 1,100 parts per million in the 22nd century. Temperatures will also increase due to global warming and climate change. On this slide, you can also see that temperatures have been increasing from 1959 to 2016. The concentration levels of CO2 have also increased within this time range. You can also see that there was a drop in temperatures during 1965. However, this increased, and continuously throughout the years there have been drops in the temperatures. It is also clear in the diagram that the higher carbon dioxide concentration led to an increase of temperature in the atmosphere. So, what are the actions that can be taken to reduce the effects of climate change? These are some of the actions that can be taken place to reduce these effects of climate change. Powering your house with renewable energy will prevent you from wasting energy. Insulating your homes with loft insulation and other insulations will enable you to keep your house warmer without wasting energy resources. Investing in energy efficient appliances will not only save your money during paying bills, but it will also prevent energy from being wasted. Reducing water wastage by having shorter showers or by closing the tap when you brush your teeth will save the environment and help the climate. Reducing food wastage or by recycling food waste will also help the environment and prevent the effects of climate change. Mainly, driving a fuel-efficient vehicle or using a public transport will reduce the emissions that you transmit into the atmosphere and will be beneficial for the climate in a longer run. Not only will this be beneficial for the climate, but driving an electrical or a hybrid vehicle will have better impact on people's health because of the decreased amount of pollutants released in the atmosphere due to the emissions that cars give out. Carbon footprint. So what is a carbon footprint? According to the World Health Organization, a carbon footprint measures the impact that your activities have on the amount of carbon dioxide that is produced by burning fossil fuels and is experienced as a weight of carbon dioxide emissions, which is produced in tons. Some examples of carbon footprint would be driving to the grocery store, college, uni, and this uses a certain amount of fuel and fossil fuels. These fossil fuels later are the primary sources of greenhouse gases. The top three countries that emit the most carbon dioxide in 2018 and the countries that have the biggest carbon footprint were China, United States, and India. This slide shows my personal carbon footprint, and I calculated this by using the website carbonfootprint.com. This website calculates your carbon footprint and the total tons of carbon dioxide you produce by calculating the tons of carbon dioxide that's emitted through your house, flights, cars, motorbikes, bus and rail, and secondary information such as the amount of clothes you buy or the amount of shopping or grocery shopping you do on a weekly basis. Secondary information could also include the amount of food wastage that you produce weekly. Reflecting back to the carbon footprint image, I can clearly see that the car category has the most tons of carbon dioxide. Travelling by car can lead to the most carbon dioxide emissions, which is very bad for the climate and the environment. The house also releases 0.12 tons of carbon dioxide. This can be reduced by building solar panels or by using better insulation to prevent excessive use of radiators or other fuels to heat the house. Solar panels are another great way to save energy. The rest of the carbon dioxide emissions come from the secondary tab. This includes the amount of shopping done in a household, meals eaten outside, etc. This can be decreased by buying food that are in season locally or reducing the consumption of meat and by recycling as much as possible. These are the action plans that can be taken to reduce your carbon footprint. These are some action plans that do not only reduce your carbon footprint but also are cost saving. Reducing your heating by 1 degree Celsius can reduce your energy consumption by 8%. For an average household, gas bills of 12,500 kilowatt per hour, this will reduce your carbon dioxide emissions by 184 kg. That's 42 pounds each year being saved. Hanging the washing outside instead of using the tumble dryer will save about 153 kilograms of carbon dioxide a year. Spending 1 minute less in the shower can save up to 23 kilograms of carbon dioxide and 8 pounds a year. This is based on 1 shower a day and a 9 kilowatt shower. Fully turning off just one LED TV rather than leaving it on standby for 18 hours a day will save about 5 kilograms of carbon dioxide a year. Not only this, but filling the kettle with the amount of water you need won't just save water, but it will also save 72 kilograms of carbon dioxide a year. The best action to take would be to travel less and travel more carbon foot friendly by car share to work or for the kids to school run, or use public transport such as the bus or train rather than your car, and walk shorter journeys or cycle. As well as primary carbon footprint, you can prevent secondary carbon footprint caused by your purchasing habits by buying organic produce and by not buying overpacked products and by recycling as much as possible. Thank you for watching my presentation. Hope it made you more aware of climate change and the impact it has on our environment.